combining major and minor scales, licks and tricks and all sorts of cool things. What I was just doing there, jamming out over a C major chord to an A minor. Now, one of the things guitar players have a problem with is getting stuck in a box. What I want to help show you here is coming from a major scale to a minor scale. We're going to go from Ionian to Aeolian. Now, if we're thinking in terms of major scale, if you take a look at the piano, the keyboard, it's all white keys. It's our C scale. Okay, I'm going to play this again, C scale. Now I'm going to play the A minor. All white keys. Now the thing with the guitar is, I already showed this to you once, I'm going to show it to you one more time. I'm going to do it slow. I'm going to start off with the C major. Okay, now we're going to do the minor, the A minor. This is relative minor to the C major. Notice how I ended on a C there. Now when you're practicing your scales, you want to learn them in more than one finger pattern. One octave. You have this octave. The point I'm trying to make here, if you're playing your C scale, come right back down into your relative minor, the Aeolian. Now, it helps guitar players get out of that box. Sometimes playing in major solos, you can do certain licks, you can have a more happy sound, but guitar players tend to play, I know for myself personally, I'm more of a bluesy player. You know, I like to bend notes, you know. So if I'm playing in C major, I find when you're playing with a lot of keyboard players, praise services and stuff, everything seems to be in a major key. So why not, if I can take a major scale, go 4 frets down, C, to A. Now if you remember, you're 4 frets down from your major to your minor. There's my C. Here's my A. Now I'm going to show you 2 different ways here to play a pentatonic scale in A. A minor pentatonic. This is a different rendition of it. Okay, this one we know. I'll try this one. Same notes. So what's going to happen here is you're going to be able to get out of the box more. You're going to be able to spread out over the neck of the guitar when you're jamming. So combining these 2 scales together, I really recommend that you sit there and you practice your major scale and then the relative minor. This works in every key. Excuse me. So if you're playing in A, you can do F sharp minor. Stepping back to where the chords that we learned earlier, the G, the C, and the D. And if we're playing in G major, we're going to play the G major scale. relative minor to this is E, E minor. E minor chord here. This will fit right into the E pentatonic, or the blues scale. Play it up on the 12th fret. I'm going to go into the G major. Back into the minor. And you're saying, wait a minute, Raj, you were doing a pentatonic like this. Okay, but what I'm doing, I'm incorporating three different scales here. The blues scale, the minor scale, which is our Aeolian mode, and the Ionian mode, the major scale. That's where that F sharp comes in at. C, B. Because this F sharp is in the G major scale. Okay, let's see if I can get this to work. I'm going to loop a pattern. Okay, there we go. Okay, that last section that we just did, from G major to E minor, I threw a lot of licks and a lot of stuff at you in there. Let me take a step back and show you some of the licks and some of the tricks that I did in that little jam session. Okay, the first thing I like to start off with in opening E is a hammer-on. What I'm doing, I'm pulling off on the string while I'm hammering on the string. That's what they call hammer-ons, pull-offs, duh. You notice I'm tugging down away from the string to keep it vibrating. Another technique I was doing in that solo piece was some other pull-offs and hammer-ons on the open G string. Another lick I did in there was had a slide in it where you slide up to the note. Let me play this lick for you slow. This one's pretty cool. Come on, we'll play it up a little higher here. See, with these licks, it's going to get you back into the major scale, right back into the minor. There's also a lick where you're hitting two strings at once, the B and the E string. There's a little blues thing. I might have thrown this one in there, where you're bending the G string. We're doing not an upward bend, we're doing a down bend, pulling the string down. And then we're slapping this high E note on top of that. Your guys like great Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King. The guys doing riffs like that. This other riff, Phil Keaggy, Jimmy Page. You can do more hammer-ons and pull-offs. Did you catch that one? What I'm doing with all these riffs here is I'm combining vibrato, bending of the notes, and phrasings of the notes. I'm not just like going real fast. You can do that, but then making things a little more tastier. Try that one again. Here's a little trick you can try. I picked this up from watching Joe Satriani. The thing is, watch as many guitar players as you can, listen to as many guitar players as you can, and then you can steal stuff from them. You can, if you hear a lick that Joe does, or Vi does, or Keaggy or Huff does, you can say, "Wow, that's pretty cool," and you can incorporate it into your own style. Not to sound or rip anybody else off, but that's what guitar players do. I mean, basically, we come up with our own styles by listening to other people and making a big melting pot of their style. Here's a Satriani riff. Use your pick on this one with a hammer on. Okay, next, you can go off the wall a little bit with some of your riffs. There's a song that we do in G, like, the solo parts, I'll do something really off the wall. Let me show you what I did here. The song's in G. I'm starting off on my high G. But I'm throwing in this like diminished, augmented type sound. It sounds like a siren. Now the continuing riff after that. One more time. Back in the 80s, a lot of guitar players were doing all this hammer-on stuff. You know, Eddie Van Halen came out and was like, "Oh, cool, man." Not too many players are doing that today. You can take this, you still can do hammer-ons. It's okay. It's all right. You know, I know it's the year 2000, but it's okay to still do hammer-ons. Here's a riff out of a pentatonic scale that I'm going to show you with a hammer-on. Okay, here's another one. What's happening here is you're picking the note and bending it. Let's try that one again. Pick, bend, hammer on. I'm hammering on 12 frets above, so I'm getting the octave here. That's a cool little trick if you're doing a solo in the open position here. It'll get you up into that next position there. Also, a lot of guys are doing sweep picking. You have to edit out all the ums. A lot of guys are doing sweep picking out of arpeggios. Let me show you an E minor arpeggio. All arpeggios are is they're coming out of chords, out of your E minor chord. Okay, I'm doing an E minor bar chord. And I'm going to just arpeggio the notes. Now, I can't sweep pick like Yngwie or Yngwie, but that's a totally different technique. Actually, that technique is kind of dying out, I think. Here's a riff out of that arpeggio. Okay, another thing to practice riffs and scales together, if you want to be more jazzy, I find that if you're doing an early service or if you're doing a dinner set, I don't know, your first set somewhere, you can't be too loud, and the music director might look at you like, "Hey, turn down," you know, or the video guy will look at you, "Turn down." But you want to express yourself musically with your solos. Here's a way where you can add some jazz technique to it. What I'm going to show you now is the way you can practice this technique and also make it more musical. Now, it's working with octaves. Okay, see the octave happening here? use our thumb. Fleshy part of our thumb here. It's kind of like a West Montgomery type thing. At least the other videos that I saw, that's what they said. West Montgomery. Okay, I don't know. He's a great jazz player. To get into this trick, into this mode, what I do is I'm backing off on my tone control. It's a little more mellower. Now, to practice something like this, you can run your major scale. Now, mix it up a little bit. Another thing, little tricks and tricks that you can do when you're playing with a whole band, you don't have to do all the chords to songs. Like if I'm doing a vamp, here's something here. This F. Now I might want to flip onto my neck pickup here, and I got one guitar player going like this, and the bass player's doing this vamp. You can go. Come up to this F chord here, and come up this note. It's like playing rhythm and lead at the same time, doing single notes. Come in with the octave.